Today we're going to cover the Module 2 Word SAM textbook project. So you'll need to go to your download folder or download files and download the actual instructions and then the start file, which I've already done. So we're going to create a research paper today, and the final product will be 3 pages long, the information here. I'm going to try to pause it as I type if I need to, because there's a lot of typing. So follow along. Let's get started. These are the steps that we'll be doing: changing document settings, creating a header, typing a research paper with text and citations, create an alphabetical works cited page, proofread it, and then work with the comments in the research paper. We're going to be using the MLA style. We're going to be working with setting the default normal settings. Make sure you're following the directions exactly, and it only applies to this document, not all documents, okay? So we downloaded the file, we started Word, gone to the layout, it wants us to have our show hide button on right here, show formatting mark, so we've done that. Now we're going to start with the normal. So normal in the styles gallery, so that would be here in the styles. Here's selected. Tab. Page width. Display the home show hide button. We've done that. Now we're going to adjust the styles. So it says right click the normal in the styles gallery. So we'll go back to home. Styles gallery, right click normal. And then it asks us to click on modify. So we'll click on modify. It's going to give us the modifying bar. Looks like this. It says click the font to display the font. And we're going to go to New Times New Roman. The reason why we're doing this is because we're going to make this apply to all of this whole document. And no matter what theme we use or whatever, this is always going to stay the same. That way, as we're typing the document, we don't have to keep going back in and changing stuff, because MLA style has certain criteria for it. So 12 font, that is the second bullet. And then it says ensure that only in this document option is selected. So only in this document is selected. Super important to make sure that one's right. And then it says click OK to modify all the style. Okay. And now everything that we do will be 12 times New Roman, no matter what styles or not styles, but whatever we choose to change, it's always going to be that way. Okay, so we clicked OK. And we're going to adjust the line spacing because, again, MLA requires a certain spacing, which is double spaced. It's going to show us how to do it now. So it says click line and paragraph spacing. It's under the home tab in the paragraph group right here. And then this is a button right here that has an up and down arrow. We'll click on that. We have the different line spacing. Looks like this. It says click 2, which is double space, or double lines. Okay. So this is single space. This is 1.15. This is 1.5. Lines of space between each of the lines, and this is double space. We'll click on the 2.0. Now we're going to remove the spacing after a paragraph. Word is set up to do that, but we don't want the spacing after a paragraph because it's double spaced. So click the line and paragraph spacing again in the paragraph group. We're just there. And then it says remove space after paragraph. Click on that, which is step number 2. So now there's going to be no spacing. And the other assignment we did in Module 1, we went into paragraph spacing and changed the before and after. That's also a way to do it too. To update a style to match a selection, so that's what we're going to do with the style now. So we're going to right click normal, styles. We're going to right click normal, and we're going to update the normal to match the selection. That'll make the double spacing and no paragraph spacing after part of the normal style that we're working on today. So update to normal. So we just did that in step 2. Now we're going to create a header. A header is a space above, and a footer is a space below the paper, up above the margins. So we can put information there that will repeat on every page, or we can have it set different on each page, such as page numbers. Okay, so to insert a header, we're going to click on Insert on the ribbon. We're going to click on the header button, Insert Header Footer Group. We'll do that now. Insert. And then we're going to go to the header footer group, and I believe it wants us to click on the header. Let's see here. Display the header gallery. Okay, header. So display the header gallery. Looks similar to this. It might not be exactly the same because sometimes there's updates to Windows. Click on the blank in the header gallery to switch the document text to header where it's blank. So we're going to click on this one, blank. Now we want to right align the header. So on the home, we're going to click on the Align Right button. Right here, right alignment. And that moves our insertion point over here. Enter text in a header. Okay, it wants us to type in Yazzie. So type in Yazzie. That would be the person's last name that's writing this research paper. Now to insert a page number, we're going to use a formatting tool that's in Word itself, so we don't have to page number ourselves. So we're going to click on the header footer design on the ribbon to display the header footer design tab right here. It's a new tab that's open because we're in our header, and now we have a whole bunch of different things that we can do. Okay, we're probably going to be using the quick part. So we're going to be using not a quick part, but a built-in formatting. Click plain number in the current position gallery. So I'm going to go. Is it page number? I'm sorry. Yes, page number. Page number in the current position. And I believe it's the plain number it wants us to use. Plain number, yes. From the current position. So now it puts in the 1 right there. And I don't see a space in between my 1 and the Yazzie, so I'm going to go back here and put a space. And have the choice space. Finish with inserting the page number. Now we're going to close the header. The reason why we want to close the header is because we want to type in this area here. So there's a big red button here to close the header. Or you can double click in the main body of the paper. We'll click on the close header button because I think that's what it tells us to do. Now it says to type the research paper. It does talk about the fact that you're not supposed to copy people's work. You need to have an introduction body and a conclusion in your research paper. Make sure that the people that you're quoting on the internet, make sure that they're reputable, that it's a good site, not some fake news place or something like that, or an advertising company that's trying to promote something and saying studies say this or that. Make sure that it's up to date because science does change if you're doing a research based on science. And then accurate. Make sure that what you're typing is accurate and it's verifiable. That you can find your sources again. Okay, don't plagiarize. We'll talk about that. Okay, to enter name and course information. So this is probably our first page. So we're going to insert the point as shown, and we're going to type Nina Yazzie. And then we're going to type Slobodnik, and then English 101, and then October 6, 2021 is when the paper's due date. To enter the title of the research paper, needs to be centered between the margins. Center button. Type in health concerns of using technology. Spelling errors as you go, if you see it. It's going to give us our keyboarding shortcuts if you want to use those. We're not using keyboard shortcut. We're going to use the word Control L. So it's going to left align because we don't want the next line to be left aligned or to be centered. So hit Control L and you can see that it's left align. Okay, now we're going to display the ruler. My ruler is already displayed. The ruler across the top, the left and right margins, and then the up and down, the vertical margins for the top and the bottom of the margins. So to do that, you're going to click on View. Make this wider so I can find out where it is. I think it's the Show button. Yeah, it's in the Show area, and then ruler. And make sure it's checkmarked. So in this view, you go Show, and then make sure the ruler is checkmarked. And then I'll show you your ruler. Okay. So that's what step 1 says. To show the ruler. First line indent on paragraphs, we're going to set that, and that's why we wanted to set our ruler because we have our first line indent up here, the upside down triangle. So we're going to drag it to 0.5 so it'll be a 1/2 inch indent for our first line paragraph. So click on the triangle and drag it. Just make sure it's the top triangle, not all of them. And put it at 1/2. At 1/2 right there, exactly between 0 and 1. And it looks like this. If you notice, the insertion point also moves over there. Oops, hold on, I skipped something. Down here, it's going to have a start typing, I believe. So, yeah, that's this time. I put 2 spaces after the insertion, after the period. You can just put 1. There's 2 different schools of thought, and I think the newest school of thought right now is just 1 space of after the period because it looks like there's just 1 dot here. So it should look like this. Go to the next page. Autocorrect as you type. Okay, we've already used the autocorrect, but we'll go ahead and type it again here just so you can remember it. First the space, and then these conditions are 1, and we'll misspell the, and you're going to see that it's going to automatically correct it. And we'll hit the space, see how it automatically corrects it. There's no word that's TEH, so it autocorrects. We'll finish typing the rest of the sentence on step 2. Sorry, I couldn't pause the video. I'll just type it as I go, and I'll type quickly. Okay, use autocorrect buttons option, and we can actually go in and we can make autocorrect. But when we do the autocorrect, automatically corrected it, we can click on the drop down here, and it will actually allow us to cancel the autocorrect. For instance, if that's the way I wanted to spell it, then I could do that. To create an autocorrect entry, I would recommend you do this if you have a last name that's always red underlined, like Mr. Spolkovnic's name. You can set that so it will automatically correct it and it won't count it wrong. So we're going to do that in here. So we'll click on the file to open the Backstage view. We're going to go to Options at the bottom, and then we're going to go to Proofing, the left plane. Then we're going to click on the Autocorrect options. And then we're going to type computer. So let's see here, where we at? Autocorrect dialog box. Oh, right here. Place. We'll type in COMPUTER, and we'll replace it with compute. So it's right in here like this, computer. Spelled correctly, computer. Then I can click the add button. It's going to fix that where it automatically corrected. So we're going to go ahead and click OK and close all this. So OK and OK. Like I said, this is just giving you information about how to set things where you want it to be. I know that I use it for my last name. I also will use it for like a school name where I want it spelled that specific way. I can make it do that too. It talks about how to use capitalization. Okay, now I'm going to insert more text. Okay, so I'm going to start a new paragraph, so I'm going to enter. Automatically indents the next paragraph. Hopefully you forwarded over that and didn't have to sit there in real time and watch me type. Okay, now we hit the space bar because we got this information from somewhere. I did not do a research paper and stuff, and I just came up with this all by myself. I got the symptomology from somewhere. So it's going to talk about citations and about how to insert them. Really cool feature of Word because you don't have to type them in manually. You can use the program and it automatically format it correctly. Okay, so we're going to go up here to the References tab we've never used before, and then we're going to go to the styles, and we have different styles. The most two common are APA and MLA. Okay, there's other styles, but you're probably only going to see in most colleges around here That's the APA style or the MLA style. So be sure to know which one it is that your professor desires and use that particular style. I believe we're going to use the MLA, so we'll click on MLA, and then all of our citations will be formatted in MLA style. And I love that because if you had to do it the old way, you had to actually look up how to cite in a book, a magazine, or a website, and exactly how it's all formatted. And Word does this for you automatically. So we're going to insert a citation. So we're going to go to here, insert citation, and a new source. Step 2, a new source. The type of citation is up here. And we found this particular information in a periodical, like a magazine. So article and periodical. Periodical could be either a weekly magazine or monthly magazine, but it's periodically produced. Okay. So the author that wrote that article is called Zhao Xinli. So last name. And then the title of the article itself was called Technology, Aches and Pains. To the periodical title. Now this is the name of the periodical, like such as Newsweek, Time Magazine, okay, USA World Report, anything like that. So this one's called Medical Monthly or Monthly Medical Review. I'm going to put the tab, and then the year it was published was 2021, and the month was in July. And the pages are going to be in space PAG. Look like that. Web. Take the note page. Let's see what does in pages mean. Click on that. In page means no pages. Because we found it on the web. It's a web article. But it was a magazine article on the web. Okay, enter more text. So I'll click OK. It puts the citation in there for me. And I'm going to hit the period. And enter. Wait, no, I'm not. I'm not going to enter. Period. We're going to make sure I didn't do wrong. Looks like it's all spelled right, or at least didn't catch it. Now we're going to save the research paper. And we're just going to click the save button because it doesn't tell us to change anything. So we're just going to click on save. We'll rename it before we upload it. And then mine's saved in my downloads folder. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is insert footnotes. Okay, a footnote is a note located at the bottom of the page on which the note reference mark appears. It's text that provides additional information or acknowledges source for the text in the document. Okay, and an endnote is the same type of thing, but it's at the end of the document or the section of the document. Okay, so you can read over these if you have any other questions about how footnotes and endnotes work. So we're going to insert a footnote. The insertion point, now we just typed this, taking continual breaks and exercising the hands and arms can help reduce chances of developing these repetitive strain injuries. So we're going to insert an endnote, a footnote on this. references again, and now we're going to insert a footnote. So we're going to insert a footnote, and it's going to put a little area down here at the bottom for us to type the footnote. If you notice, it put a little 1 here and a little 1 here, so we know what to reference. This is just additional information you can look at when you're reading the article, but it's not really part of the article. Okay, so I'm going to put this according to Clark. And it should look like that. So we push the space bar. And we're going to insert a citation placeholder in the footnote because we did get this information from some source, so we need it quoted. We're going to go to insert citation references, citations, bibliography, insert citation again. So we already have our tab up. So insert citation down here, and we're going to type in Clark as the source. Oh, I'm off here. It's not a citation. Placeholder in new dialog. Placeholder. There we go. And type in the word Clark. Here. Okay. And place the citation. What is a tag name? Tag name is an identifier that links the citation to its source. Word automatically will create this tag name when you enter the source, and you can create a citation placeholder and meaningful tag name, which will appear in the citation placeholder until you edit the source. So we can edit that later when we want to. Okay, so we clicked OK to insert the placeholder. Now we're going to click the period. That looks weird. So now at the end of Clark, we'll push the period because we've inserted our placeholder for the citation. Okay, now footnote style text. When you insert a footnote, Word formats it using the footnote text style. You notice it's a different, it's not double space like that. It's single space, left align, smaller font. According to MLA, notes should be formatted like all the other paragraphs in the paper. So we're going to have to go in and format this. So it's telling us we could just go in and format it right here and then be done. But if we insert another footnote, we're going to have to do it again. So the more efficient technique is to modify the format of the footnote style in our document so that every footnote we enter will be styled the correct way. So to do that, the footnote text style specifies we already did that. Right-click the note text in the footnote to display the shortcut menu, and that's what we were seeing on the previous page. And just click on the style, and it pulls up our footnote style. And we're going to click the modify button right here. And it's going to pull up our footnote style where we can modify it. And it says to display the font list, we're going to go into the font and change it to a 12 font. So that takes care of that. And then we need to change it to double spacing, just like the other part. So click the double space to change the line spacing. So the double space button, I believe, is right here. that's a spacing before and after a paragraph. I'm going to go to format here, and go to paragraph. And now we have the line spacing here, so we're going to change the line spacing here to double. And if you notice, this is what it's talking about here. We clicked on the format, we went here, spacing, clicked on double. We'll click OK. Okay. Apply. And then once we click apply, that's when it happens. Right. I do see that I did make one mistake. I skipped something. I forgot the indent. So right here on the special arrow indentation, click the first line. So I'm going to have to right click again, go back into style, go back into modify, and then back here to format, paragraph format, and then indentation right here. I forgot to click on first line. So click on first line, make sure it's still on double that we had. Click OK, click OK, click apply. There we go. Now I indented the first line and indent the way it's supposed to be. Okay. So we went from this to this look now. Now we're going to edit a source. Click somewhere in the citation placeholder to be edited. In this case, Clark. Click the citation options arrow to display the citation options menu. Click on edit source. So I'm going to click on Clark. It's going to give us a formatting placeholder. And we're going to click the drop down, and we're going to get to the drop down, and now we can edit the source. So we'll click on edit source. Now it's going to give us the information we need. So type of source, let's say it's a book, and then it has two authors. So click the edit button to display the edit name dialog, which is this issue with multiple author names. Right here. Now we're going to put a bar. Put together some edits in. And the line if they provide that. Click on add, and then we're going to put the other person's author's name in here. Chat. Both of the authors in there. We'll click OK. So now we have both authors' names in there. Now we'll put the title, Repetitive String Injuries. That's the city where the publisher is located. Okay, close the dialog. It's going to show the fucking native page. Okay, to edit a citation. Now we're going to edit this citation. And it explains the reason why you want to do that here. But if necessary, click somewhere in the citation to be edited. In this case, Clark and Nadir, which selects the citation, displays the citation area. Click on it. Click on Edit Citation. So we're going to go back and do that. Edit citation. This time we're editing the citation, not the source. And it's going to say what do we want to do about it. So click the title. And the author. And the pages that we're going to get this from is from 65 to 66. The pages that we got this information from. But we don't want to put the author's name or the title in the citation. So click OK. It's just going to put page numbers there. Well, now it shows the page numbers. All the information is still in there. It's just the only things that are displayed are here. So when we get to our bibliography page, it's going to show all that information in the bibliography. or the works cited page. Okay, working with footnotes and endnotes. We'll talk about all the different things you can do with it. Cutting and pasting. Converting footnotes to endnotes. Okay, now we're going to type more text. So we're going to, after the reference mark in the document, press enter. Enter, start on that paragraph. So let's look at some fancy stuff with it. We're going to look and see how many words there are, because a lot of times the teacher wants to have a certain number of words. In ours, we have 275 words. Or no, the minimum requirement for the research paper in this, if we had a teacher, it would be 275 words. So we can look on the status bar and see the total number of words thus far in the document. So we have 231 words. See down here at the bottom, 231 words. So our goal is 275, 231. So click the word count indicator on the status bar. Now we're going to look at more information. Now it pulls it up. It tells us that we have one page. It's 231 words with this many characters. We have characters with spaces. This is all of our spaces do. We have 9 paragraphs and 21 lines. But it also includes our textbooks, text boxes, footnotes, and endnotes, because this is considered a paragraph because it tells us to include it. So it wants us to check mark that, take it off, and it changes it down to 8 paragraphs that we have, and 19 lines, 208 words. So this is going to give us what's actually in the body. Click on OK. And then we're going to insert a page break. Okay, there's 2 different kinds of page breaks. An automatic page break that does because we ran out of line spacing. The other one is a soft page break. When we know we want to put it, we can put it in. So it's going to wrap around and put it in the next page for us. So we're going to hit the 30 seconds per paragraph. Enter, upper space bar, and click I. See how it puts it in the next page. It's not doing correctly. It's spelled incorrectly there. Yeah, hearing loss. It's supposed to be hearing loss. Right click here, see errors. Verifying the text that it's right. Okay. Now we're going to insert a citation on this. Placeholder. All this Sanchez. We'll put in the information later. And put the period. The period goes after. So it should look like this. And it shows that it's intentionally misspelled, so you click it, correct it, but I already corrected it because I had some real spelling errors that I did. If you notice, the page number also changed to page 2 when we got to it. So it saves us time having to do all that. So hide to show white space. Position the pointer in the document window between pages so that it changes how it gets rid of the white space. I like it like this, but just in case you want to do it, you can double click it and it's going to get rid of that white space there so you can fit more on the screen. So I like it on there, so I'm going to leave it. Okay. Now we're going to edit a source. Remember, we put those sources in, but we haven't actually typed in the information yet. So now we're going to go in and put the information for Sanchez. So we're going to click on Sanchez, click here, edit the source. And then you're going to type a source. I say it's a website. I don't see it here, so that means we've got to scroll down to find it. There's a website right here. We're going to click on the author's name, Sanchez. Page is called Technology. Access it. We're going to 2021. October. Today was October 1st. So when I think I'm in the wrong spot. Here, access 2021. Month access October. And then the day I accessed it was October 1st. And the medium is a little bit. So I should go like this. Then I'll click OK. Increase the source source. Page. Okay, entering more text. We're going to go to the end of the document, so it puts end. That doesn't work, so click here. There. Now it takes us to it. I was actually in the FB thing, so I wouldn't do it. So then it tells us to hit enter, so we're going to start the next paragraph. Dotted line underneath it. Tags will be addressed later in the module during the spelling check, so we're going to leave that alone for now. I'm going to save the research paper. This is a good place to take a break if you need to take a break, and I will do that too. And that way we'll go ahead and continue later. If this is the name of the document, I'm just going to keep it the same as I had right